In this video, we're going to give you a simple tool that gets you unstuck, gets you to think about your challenge in a new and different way, and therefore come up with new and different solutions. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hi everybody, my name is Yuri from The Magic Sauce, and if you're new to this channel we bring you tools, tips, tricks, techniques and stories on innovation, creativity, problem solving, design and anything that is related to that. It's been a while since I've shared a tool with you, and I thought today is the perfect day to do just that. So today we're going to be looking at a simple tool which I use a lot in different stages of innovation. It's called reframing or relabeling, and it's all about getting a different perspective on the challenge so you can therefore come up with new and different solutions. So why is reframing important? Well, we all have a fixed mindset around certain things. We hang a certain label on topics or people or situations, and that gives us a fixed way of looking at it. And the way we label things or the way we frame things often dictate how we feel about that situation. Think about it. If you think about your workplace as a minefield, how are you going to think about that? If you think about your workplace as a laboratory in which you can experiment and test, then you're going to feel about it in a completely different way. So how we frame it and how we label it dictates how we feel about it. And it gets us into a fixed mindset. Now the challenge of course with that comes is if we always look at things through the same lenses and we always label them the same way, it is no wonder that we often draw the same conclusions and come up with the same solutions. So reframing is all about looking at the issue through a fresh pair of eyes to give you some new and different perspectives. So a great example of reframing is the Finnish prison system. See, when I say prison, most people think of a similar place. They think of a grim, kind of grey looking place that's fenced off and people inside wear kind of same kind of outfits and overalls, and have to be in a cell with metal bars, and they only get so many meals a day, and there's very limited freedom, and they're in there because they're being punished for breaking the law, for doing something that's bad. Now Finland had prisons just like that only a couple of decades ago. But then in the 60s they did some research to find out, well, how much does punishment really help in reducing crime? And long story short, they found out it didn't. So rather than having a prison system that focuses on punishment, they set up a system that focuses on reintegration of people. That's why Finland has the famous open prisons where people work in communities. And yes, they are put there for a period of time, but their program didn't focus on punishment, but rather it focused on reintegrating these people, getting them back up on their feet so they can become useful parts of society. So that's a great example of reframing from punishment to reintegration. Completely different way of looking at it, and therefore coming up with completely new and different ideas. Think about it. If you go from a system that punishes to a system that helps people get back on their feet, well, what kind of ideas could you have? Would the places look differently? Probably, right? Are they set up differently? What kind of activities are people doing? How are you going to support them? Are they going to have wardens and guards, or going to have people who coach and mentor? You can see how just by reframing it, you come up with completely new and different ideas. All right, let's show you how to do it. Here's how you get into reframing. Step number 1, warm up your brain a bit. A nice little way to get people ready for reframing is to play the game word associations.
Okay, you start. Pen, paper, plane, pilot, weird announcements about turbulence,
Relationship.
Love,
Heart.
key,
Car.
drive.
It's a nice little fun game to get your brain warmed up, make new connections, and do a bit of that good old lateral thinking. Step number 2, think, what is the essence of the challenge? What is the essence of the issue? Use the most simple words possible. Make sure that anybody around you can understand. The simpler your wording is, the easier it is for you to make connections with other things. We'll show you an example in a minute. And the third one, now you've warmed up, you've thought about the essence of your challenge, now it's time to reframe it. You can reframe something using a couple different ways. One is reframing using words. So if your challenge is all about optimizing, well, rather than calling it optimizing, could you call it squeezing every last bit of juice out of this one? And just by reframing it, inevitably you're going to think of new and different ways of looking at it. Another way to reframe is to say, so what would this look like if we didn't use words? Like, could you draw it out? Could you use Lego blocks? I mean, Lego has been working with groups of facilitators around the world on Lego serious play, and one of the things they do is they bring to life a strategy, a vision, a challenge, an idea by using Lego blocks. Like, what would that look like? Or what if the challenge at hand was a dish? Like, what would that dish look like? What would it taste like? What would it smell like? Oh, by the way, this of course is a creative activity. If it feels a bit weird and if you're going, why the hell are we doing this? That at least means that you're onto something new and different. So rather than reframing it as weird, reframe it as, it's new and different. And another way to reframe is by looking at the challenge through different sets of eyes, so from different perspectives. So think about the prison example I gave before. Let's say from a government, from society's point of view, somebody did something bad, they need to be punished, or they go to prison, evil, bad. But what if you reframe it? You said, well, what is that like from a prisoner's point of view? I mean, I would argue that most probably don't want to go to prison. I think most people probably want to have fulfilled, happy lives. I don't think they choose a path of crime. I think they fall into it because of bad choices and bad circumstances. So by just looking at it from their point of view, if they want to be a useful part of society, then how would you then reframe that whole system? That's when you get from punishing people to reintegrating them. So here's an example of what reframing looks like on an actual project. A couple of years ago, we were called by a bank, and the bank gave us this brief. We need to optimize our portfolio to suit the MGZ to enable 10% YOY growth. So first of all, I don't even know what that means. And secondly, because I don't know what it means, there's nothing, I don't really know what to do with that one. What is MGZ? Oh, that's Millennial and Gen Z. So after having a bit of a conversation with them, we figured out that they had done a bunch of research. Long story short, they figured out that young people don't care about banks. Duh! And what they wanted to do is they wanted young people to start caring about banks. So rather than using convoluted businessy words, we reframed it as, how do we as a bank really connect with youth out there? How do we really build a connection with young people out there? So the whole project did not become around optimizing a portfolio to enable growth. It became about how do we really connect with people. Now, if that's your way of reframing it, you can then start looking at what are some other people or brands or institutions that are really, really good at connecting with young people. Who do young people connect with? And that drove the entire project to new and different solutions. So next time you get a bit stuck on a challenge, reframe it, give it a different label, put it in a different light, use some different words to describe it, use certain tools to describe it, certain senses, or look at it from another person's point of view. That will get you unstuck and get you to come up with new and different connections for your solutions. Hit the buttons if you like what we're doing. Leave us a comment below on how you have reframed something or how you would like to use the tool. We look forward to seeing you here again next time for another video. I'll post another one. I'll do another one this week. I'll post it this weekend. See you guys. Thanks for watching again. We really appreciate you taking the time to watch these videos. If you want to see more of these videos, we have tons more. You can start by these two over here, start at either one of those, or go check out our library. We have a whole bunch of videos all around problem solving and how do you create something and insights and things like that.